Breaking news on ABC 17 News at 10 tonight. Jefferson City Police are investigating gunshots at an apartment complex. ABC 17's Barry Mangold joins us live from the scene of 500 East Dunkland Street. And Barry, police say there is no sign of a gunshot victim yet.
And Joey, this has been an active investigation for just over 2 hours now. Police have had a section of the parking lot here at Capital City Apartments closed since I arrived shortly after 8 o'clock, and we have a few details confirmed, but police are continuing to investigate. Now, what we know now is that police have found evidence of gunshots here in the parking lot of Capital City Apartments, but no sign of a victim at last check. And officers have been canvassing the area, going door to door, talking with neighbors and potential witnesses. A sergeant tells me that they were called here for reports of a gunshot. So we still have a number of unanswered questions, but we are still waiting for on police for more information. A press release will likely come out either tonight or tomorrow, and I might be able to talk with a sergeant here on scene shortly. So be sure to stay with us on air and online for the latest information. Live in Jefferson City, Barry Mangold, ABC 17 News.
A Columbia nursing home is once more in trouble with state investigators. ABC 17's Lucas Geisler joins us live at Parkside Manor in North Columbia. Lucas, you've been looking into this facility for a year now.
Joey, ABC 17 News investigates found prior problems that the state had following 2 deaths at this nursing home. Tonight, we found another investigation that detailed abuse. On September 30th, Parkside Manor staff tried helping a resident out of bed, but state investigators say the resident's request for help turned into an assault. The October 2nd report from the Department of Health details the incident that led to a certified nursing assistant getting fired. The report says a resident asked for help getting up at 4:30 in the morning. While one staff member tried helping them up, a certified nursing assistant told them to stop and that it was the day shift's responsibility. The resident said the CNA struck him 3 times in the chest as he put him back to bed. The CNA told staff and the state that they were defending themselves from the resident. After the staff member was fired, though, Parkside Manor agreed to train staff on dealing with resident needs and immediately send staff members home accused of abuse. Parkside Manor was cited last year by the state for not having federally required alarms by its tubs when a resident died in one. Another resident died in early 2018 with more fentanyl patches than prescribed. I asked for a comment today from Parkside Manor, as I have with each story we've done on those investigations. No one ever returned my message today. Reporting live in Columbia, Lucas Geisler, ABC 17 News.
Lucas, thank you. Now, we have also asked Columbia Police about any possible investigations regarding the incident. We're told they're checking to see if a case was opened. We'll update you when we hear more.
Well, it's quiet out there tonight. It's just breezy, clear, and cold. Temperatures right now are in the 20s to near 30 degrees. We have 32 right now at Jefferson City to 26 at Moberly. And it is going to stay rather breezy tonight. Those winds do start to shift around and die down toward the morning hours, but we do drop to the low 20s. So as you start your day tomorrow, it is going to be quite cold and those wind chills in the teens to start off. So the out the door forecast, a 22 at 7 o'clock, a wind chill of 15. There will be sunshine in the morning that will pick up a few more clouds through the afternoon for a partly cloudy day, and 52 by 4. High temperatures tomorrow reach into the 40s and 50s across the area with that south wind. So it'll start to feel much better tomorrow. However, it doesn't last too long. It's Thursday. We have another cold front coming in. And as that moves in, it is going to bring temperatures down. And then on top of that, we stay in the cold weather all the way into next week. With that, we have 3 rounds of snow in the forecast. These are the things I'm tracking hour by hour when we come back, including Snow Tracker, how much snow you could see by the time Friday night's up. I'll show you that.
The FBI is investigating a fire at a Planned Parenthood in Columbia as a hate crime. The Bureau is offering a $10,000 reward to anyone with information leading to an arrest. Surveillance video shows a person wearing dark clothes on the building's property early Sunday morning when the fire happened. The person is seen leaving the property as smoke flows from the clinic. The Jefferson City Housing Authority is trying to get possession of 7 abandoned buildings in court. Now, the owner of those properties, Barbara Bisher, has less than 3 weeks to argue why she should keep them. The lawsuit stems from the city's effort to revitalize the East Capitol Avenue area. The housing authority said it recently inspected 101 Jackson Street, which the city bought from Bisher after a separate similar lawsuit. The city said the Jackson Street building is not safe for people to be inside. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley will soon be asked to turn over documents and answer questions as part of an alleged open records violation. The lawsuit was filed by a former assistant attorney general and candidate for the Missouri Attorney General's office. Now, it claims that Governor Parson violated Missouri's Sunshine Law after not making public documents available. That was as the lawyer investigated dark money contributions by A New Missouri and other organizations. Hawley is named as a witness in the suit. His office tells ABC 17 News the subpoena is a political stunt. The plaintiff disagrees.
You know, folks are really willing to pass the blame. They don't want to have the buck stop on their desk, but here it does with Josh Hawley. And I really hope that, you know, he just complies and gives the records over, because the public deserves some answers on these things.
Hawley's spokesperson told us the senator plans to fight the subpoena. You can see the full document, read more about the story on abc17news.com. A state senator says he wants to change the voter-approved redistricting measure. Republican Dan Hagman proposed a bill today that would allow the public to submit new district suggestions to a state demographer. The voter-approved constitutional amendment will create new state House and Senate maps. That'll be after the 2020 census. Missouri's newly formed Special Committee on Government Oversight will meet for the first time tomorrow. The group is expected to examine so-called issues with the Missouri Department of Revenue. The Columbia Canine Sports Center may be building a new building, and it may happen by June. We reported to you in January when snow caused the center's roof to collapse. Well, today the center began its demolition and says that it should be building as soon as possible, of course, weather permitting. Lincoln University says it has established a scholarship fund to remember D'Angelo Bratton Bland. University student says it wants to raise $10,000 for the fund by May. You may remember the student was killed in a December shooting in Jefferson City. A Columbia woman accused of illegally passing a school bus is expected in court next month. Now, the driver was ticketed after she failed to stop for the school bus while it was picking up children. We showed you this video last week, the white car that just goes by there, and a story you'll only see on ABC 17 News. It was dash cam video recorded by a parent of that incident. A man accused of killing 2 people in Lake Ozark will appear in Miller County Court tomorrow. Gary Sweet has asked for a change of venue in his murder trial, claiming media bias in Miller County. Authorities say he shot and killed Jim and Sherry Parker at an RV park back in 2017. In an ABC 17 News crime alert, Jefferson City authorities say they've received a number of calls of scammers impersonating the city's utility department. Now, the callers say they're going to shut off the electricity if you don't pay. Now, we've told you before, the utilities department in Jefferson City and anywhere in mid-Missouri will never threaten to shut off your power over the phone in exchange for payment. Providence and Green Meadows roads in Columbia are clear tonight after an earlier crash involving a city fire truck. It happened this afternoon as the Columbia fire truck was on its way to an emergency. One person in the other vehicle that hit the truck went to the hospital. An investigation is underway after 2 people were shot and killed overnight in St. Louis. Investigators say the 2 were found inside a vehicle last night in the city's Greaterville neighborhood. So far, no arrests have been made. 2 people are recovering after an explosion at Southwest Missouri at a water treatment plant there. It happened around 3:30 yesterday afternoon in Springfield. Investigators say the workers jumped about 15 feet after a torch ignited methane gas coming from a solid waste tank. Both workers were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
I'm considering everything. You know, we already have national emergencies out there. You know, President Obama, President Clinton, President Bush, they've declared many national, this is not unique, they've declared many national emergencies, many.
Americans are still wondering tonight whether or not the commander-in-chief will issue an executive order to fund the southern border wall, more specifically the continued resolution to keep the government running. We told you last night about the new congressionally endorsed deal that offers less than $250 of the $5.7 billion in border wall funding demanded by the president. This is a live look at D.C. now. The markets, the Dow Jones was up roughly 1.5% today, ending the market's 4-day losing streak. The other major indices also increased by about the same amount. Experts attribute today's increases to optimism regarding the apparent progress in avoiding a second government shutdown this year. Mexican drug lord El Chapo is now set to serve the rest of his life in an American prison. A jury found the 61-year-old Joaquin Guzman guilty of 10 criminal counts after 6 days of deliberations. The prosecution's case featured 200 hours of testimony from nearly 60 witnesses. El Chapo's defense attorney says there will be an appeal. Some breaking news here. New York police say an officer shot and killed today has died as a result of what they call friendly fire. That officer is 42-year-old Brian Simonson, a 19-year member of the NYPD. A second officer shot by fellow police is expected to survive. The NYPD says he had also shot a suspect multiple times, leaving the suspect, quote, critically wounded.
Still to come on ABC 17 News at 10, where the news comes first.
Medical marijuana has already netted the state of Missouri $3 million. In an in-depth report, we'll show you how the drug is expected to bring more than 5,000 jobs to the state.
I'm tracking colder air and 3 rounds of snow through next week. I'll show you the timing next.
Medical marijuana has brought in some $3 million to the state of Missouri without a single bud being sold. All of that money is at the Department of Health and Senior Services with regulation and some job creation in mind. Tonight, ABC 17's Kirsty Crawford shows us how the medicinal herb will bring in at least 5,100 new jobs.
That $3 million already in the state's pockets comes from medical marijuana facility application fees in just the first month. The majority of that money will go toward jobs to regulate medical cannabis. I talked with a CEO of a medical marijuana business in Illinois to find out what kind of employees they needed to open and operate.
Even though it's in the cannabis industry, you still have to look at it as if it's a traditional business.
Scott Abbott with HCI Alternatives helped start his company from the bottom up. Abbott tells me building the business starts with state regulations, which Missouri is still working on. Before the first seeds are planted and the day-to-day staff is hired, construction, banking, security, and IT all have to be considered.
That perpetuates. So as you're building out, you're doing more construction, you're putting more lighting, but there's also a maintenance side to all that as well. And so it from an industry standpoint, there's a great deal of jobs that will be created from this.
Abbott says he was surprised one of the first employees needed was a drug rep, much like the pharmaceutical companies use.
So the person we were using early on was actually a nurse that already had a lot of contacts with doctors and understood the medical side of the industry as well as the cannabis side and kind of married those two together and had those conversations.
HCI has been open for about 3.5 years. Between 2 dispensaries and 1 cultivation facility, it employs 65 people and plans to hire at least 60 more. Missouri plans on starting with 192 dispensaries, 61 grow sites, and 87 infused product factories. Abbott says each business needs at least 15 employees. I've done the math, and that's 5,100 new jobs in Missouri, not including the side businesses that work hand in hand with these medical marijuana companies. Abbott says banking can be tricky because it's still a federal crime, but working in the business isn't as laid back as some might think.
It's very strict. All your movements are controlled. You're under camera all day long, except in the bathroom.
HCI's employees wear scrubs with pockets sewn shut, and as a former state police trooper, Abbott says regulations are taken seriously.
We get inspected by agriculture, but we also get inspected by the Illinois State Police. They do regulatory components as well about those same processes.
At first, Abbott and his team were looking for employees in the medical industry, but not anymore.
We found out that those people with the medical background really had no more insight to cannabis than those that didn't, because cannabis really isn't taught in the medical community yet.
Now they look for anyone who is just eager to learn. The industry also pays higher than minimum wage. Dispensary retail employees can make between $14 and $17 an hour. The state plans on hiring for positions ranging from regional employees who process applications and facility inspectors to IT technicians and regional managers. Those salaries could be anywhere between $25,000 a year to about $96,000 a year.
Kirsty Crawford, thank you for that report, and good luck in Knoxville, Tennessee. The DHSS says it will be posting job listings at mocareers.mo.gov by the end of the month through May.
Temperatures tonight are hovering in the upper 20s to near 30 right now. We still have that icy breeze blowing, giving us those wind chills in the upper teens and low 20s right now. The breeze dies down toward morning, and we'll see it shift more to the south, and that's going to bring in those warmer temperatures for tomorrow. So it is going to be an improvement here as we head into Wednesday. In fact, you can see in the out-the-door forecast, it's a partly cloudy day. It's still cold in the morning, but it doesn't take long before those temperatures start to modify. And by 1 in the afternoon, we're in the 40s. Reaching the 50s in some places. Now, if you live north of Interstate 70, you're likely to stay in the 40s tomorrow, but farther south, those 50s are certainly in the forecast. Now, if you wait until Thursday, all of us reach into the 50s as that warm air pushes a little farther to the north for Valentine's Day. It'll be a bit breezy and the clouds will increase, but overall it looks like a beautiful day to start. But it won't be long before that cold air returns Thursday night. Here is a look at your Valentine's Day part. So if you're heading out for the evening, although it'll feel pretty mild earlier in the day, you're going to need the heavier coats by later on because the temperature does drop. We have a cold front going through. That's why there's that spot shower chance. But most of the evening is dry, and we're already down to 30 degrees by 11 and falling. And by the time we get into Friday morning, we're at 20 degrees. It's going to get awfully cold out there. So we have our systems developing out over the Pacific. We're still in a very unsettled weather pattern, meaning the upper level winds just keep steering these in our direction. And although we get a break for the next couple of days, this next area of low pressure develops, it pulls in here, and cold air drops in behind it. There it is, and that's the colder air that moves in Thursday night. So the mild temperatures we get for just these next 2 days will be replaced by the Arctic air. And as I show you this weather pattern, take a look. This is Friday and into Saturday. That cold air just never goes away. It stays here. It may wobble back and forth a little bit, but we are well below average all the way into the middle of next week as we continue to have that cold air settling into the area. So Friday, the temperatures are a lot different. We stay in the 20s all day. In fact, the wind chills start off in the teens in the morning hours Friday, and we pick up a chance of snow. This is preliminary, but here's Snow Tracker for Friday evening. A couple of our models have been pretty consistently showing 1 to 3 inches of snow from this all the way into early Saturday. It looks like it ends just after midnight, so we will have to watch the roads Friday night as the first round of 3 of snow comes in. Here is a look at that real quick on this timing here. Friday afternoon, there it is, spreading across the area. Watch the commute and Friday evening for possible slick roads. Once that passes, we have our next one Saturday evening. This one could have a mix for the Ozarks as we'll see that possible warmer air lifting north and that snow pulling out of here early Sunday. And yet we have another one coming in behind that. And this one is for Tuesday. We'll have to watch the morning commute Tuesday as well as the evening because we could be seeing that light snow a good chunk of the day. So things to watch, and with us you can do that here and online at abc17news.com. As we look at the 7-day forecast, then it's just cold and we have on and off snow chances.
Sharon, thank you. We're going to tell you what happened after a dramatic crash in Wisconsin involving a police car. Stay with us. Take a look at this. It was raining ice in Chicago. The ice was falling from skyscrapers, and it caused authorities to shut down several major downtown streets. Take a look. Now, among the closures were streets near the Willis, formerly Sears Tower, and near the John Hancock building. Police say no injuries were reported. Tonight, we also have dramatic footage of a semi striking a police car near Green Bay, Wisconsin. Authorities say the truck failed to stop at the traffic light. The officer's door was crushed, you can see there, but no one was injured in the crash, thankfully. We have sports next.
Sports Zone starts now, sponsored by U.S. Cellular.
It might not truly be a rivalry, but it is always interesting when Arkansas comes to town. Mizzou hosted the Razorbacks tonight. Jeremiah Tillman back in the lineup after missing Saturday's game. Mark Smith, however, did not play for the 6th straight game. Right out of the gate, Jeremiah Tillman making his presence known. 21 points for the East St. Louis native. Let the dunk fest begin. Next, Hogs possession. Daniel Gafford has his fast pass to Thunder Mountain. 26 points for Gafford. Hey, there's that big Battle Line rivalry trophy in the house. 13 to go in the half. Jumping Jehoshaphat Jeremiah Tillman. Another slam. Mizzou up by 7. A minute later, Xavier Pinson. Beautiful pass in the corner to Jordan Geis for 3. 18 points for the senior. This game went down to the wire. Final seconds. Mizzou needs to stop. Up by 1. Can they get it? Oh, great defense from Mizzou as Jeremiah Tillman, the big man, comes up with the ball. The Tigers are victorious. 79-78. Tillman over the 20-point mark for just the 2nd time in his career as the Tigers finally hang on to win a close game. Mizzou's now 12-11 overall, 3-8 in the SEC. We'll have full reaction from the team up on our website, abc17news.com, in the next half hour. More rivalries on the high school front. Let's head out to the Hickman Gymnasium as the Cupies hosting Rockbridge, and the Bruins have won the last 6 matchups against Hickman. First quarter, Cupies, though, starting strong. Niles Naylor buries a 3-pointer. Cupes up 10-7. Then Rockbridge really got going. DeJuan Harris lobbed it up to his teammate Quentin Brown for the slam. Game tied at 12. Later, Missouri State signee Jamonte Black, one of his 6 threes. He had 23 points. Rockbridge in the lead, would not look back. DeJuan Harris, huge one-handed thunder. Hey, look, it's our director, Ben, at work. We broadcasted that game for you on KZOU. If you watched it, you saw that dunk from Isaiah Mosley. 33 points for him. Bruins 77, Hickman 50. More rivalry action. Jeff City hosted Helias tonight on Senior Day. Jays started strong as Ben Foles up and in, plus the foul. Nicely done for him. Helias with it now. Jake Van Loo for 2. Gets the bucket to fall. Jeff City on the break now. Ryan Brooks. That's a nice WWE title. I kind of want one of those. Brooks wants 2 points and he gets it. But Helias gets the win, 55-39. Also tonight, the Lady Jays hosted the Lady Satyrs. Senior day for them as well. First quarter, Sarah Linthicum with a strong finish. Hoop plus the foul for her. Jeff City added again to the #1 ranked team in the state for a reason. Maybe the country. I don't know who does those rankings. Jeff City very much in the state title contention this year. Jeff City wins this one 42-26 over Helias. And we'll have another look at your forecast in just a moment.
It's a cold start to the day, but a milder finish as we reach the upper 40s to low 50s tomorrow afternoon. It's mild for Valentine's Day. The cold air comes back in by Friday with a chance of snow.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for joining us.
Kimmel's next.
Good night.